Hello learners, welcome to our virtual learning class. Today we have English, and under English we are going to talk about the aspect English grammar, okay? English grammar, and we are going to talk about the use of few, a few, little and a little, okay? How we can use these words correctly in our grammar. Very good. Now let's continue with a few and a few. Okay, so few and a few are used for what? For count nouns. Okay, few and a few are used for count noun. And we learned that when we talk of count noun, we learned that count nouns are names of things that can be what? Counted. Okay, for example, book. We have a books. Okay, pen, pens. Okay, pencil, pencils. So things of name of things that we can be what? Counted. Names of things that can be counted. Countable nouns. Okay, so for all those nouns we use what? A few and what? Few for them. Okay, for all those nouns. So how many books do you have? I have 20 books. How many pencils do you have? I have what? 20 pencils. Okay, very good. So they are what? Countable nouns. So for them we use few, a few for them. Okay, very good. Now let's look at this example. A few people came late. A few people came what? Late. How many people came late? You can give the number of people who came what? Late. Okay? So it's what? A count now. We can number the number. Let's say we have 10 people came what? Late. 10 people came what? Late. So it's what? A countable now. So we use what? A few people came late. Then we also have a few girls did their homework. So how many are they? 5, 2, or 3. We can number them. Okay, we can count them and give them a number. So they are what? Countable now. So the girls there, girls is what? Countable now. So we use what? Few for them. Very good. Now let's continue with what? Little and a little. Okay, so we say a little and a little are used for what? Non-countable noun or non-count nouns. Okay, and when we talk of non-countable noun, we are talking about names of things that cannot be what? Counted. Okay, for example, can I say how many waters do you have in the cup? No. So we can't count the water. Okay, so we say I have a cup of water, but I can't say I have 2 waters in the cup. Okay, very good. So water is what? A non-countable noun. Let's look at sugar. Okay, how many sugars do you have? No, you can't say that, right? So we say what? We use, so those are what? Non-countable now, because we can't count the number of sugar you have. We can't count the sugar. Okay, we can't count water. Okay, so we use what? A little and little for them, for the non-countable nouns. Okay, so little and a little are used for non-countable noun. Names of things that cannot be what? Counted. Okay, names of things that cannot be counted. When you look at soil, you can't count the soil. But when we take stone, you can count what? Stone. I have 2 stones in my bag. I have 2 stones in my bag. But you can't say I have 20 soils in my bag. Okay, so the soil is what? Non-countable now. Very good. So let's look at some example. We have what? I have a little money. How many money do you have in your bag? Okay, I have 2 monies. No, you can't say that. You can't number what? Money. Okay, so money is what? A non-countable noun. So we use what? Little. We use what? A little for it, because this money there is what? A non-countable noun. Then we also have what? She has little food. She has little food. How many food do you have? I have 2 food. No. Okay, so food is also a non-countable. You can't count the food. Okay, so she has a little food. She has little food. Very good. Now let's look at the practical examples. John discovered missing bottles. Then we have a little and a few. We have a little and a few. Now, In our previous, we learned that a few is used for what? Countable nouns. And a little is also used for what? Non-countable nouns. Right? Very good. So when we look at bottles here, you can see that we can count, but how many bottles do we have? Okay, I have 2 bottles of water. I have 2 bottles of what? Coca-Cola. Okay? Drink. Very good. So bottle is what? A countable noun. So we use what? A few. So I say what? You have what? A few what? Missing bottles. John discovered what? A few missing bottles. Why? Because the bottles here is what? A countable noun. The bottle here is what? A countable what? Noun. Good. Let's look at the next example. She posted letters abroad. She posted letters abroad. Now I hope we can count on letters, right? Very good. So we have what? A little, a few. Okay? Now, since we can count letters is what? A countable noun. So we use what? A few. So she posted what? A few letters abroad. She posted a few letters abroad. Good. Let's move on to what? The next example. You have to add salt to bring out the taste. Now let's look at salt. Can we count salt? Very well. How many salt do you have in your house? You can't count salt, but you can say I have 2 sachets of what? Salt. I have 2 sachets of what? Salt. But you can't say I have 2 salts in the soup, or I put 2 salts into the soup, or in the soup. Okay? So salt here is what? A non-countable noun. So what do we use for this? We use salt. A little. We use a little. Why? Because salt here is what? A non-countable noun. Okay? Very good. We say we use a little for non-countable noun, and a few for what? A countable noun. Very good. Now let's look at this. The other cockroaches died after we sprayed insecticide. The other cockroaches died after we sprayed insecticide. Now when we look at cockroaches, you can see that we can count the number of cockroaches that died. Okay? So how many are there? Let's just search the room. Okay? I found 5. You two found what? 2. So you can see that we can count cockroaches. So we use what? We use what? Few. Okay? So we use what? Few cockroaches, because cockroaches is what? A countable noun. Okay, it's a countable noun, so we use what? Few. Now let's look at the last example for the day. Okay, let's look at the last example for the day. Very that air is filtering out of the tube. Very that air is filtering out of the tube. We have what? A few and what? Little. Okay, we have a few and little. Now when we look at air, in particular, we can see that we can't count on air. Can we count a no? How many air do we have in the room? No, we can't count. So we say what? We have what? Little air. So very little air is filtering out of the tube. So here our answer is what? Little. Okay? Very little air is filtering out of the tube. Good. So today we learn how to use what? The use of what? Few, a few, little, and what? A little. And we have learned that few and a few are used for what? Countable nouns, and little and a little are used for what? Non-countable noun. Very good. So anytime you meet this in a grammar questions, check whether the noun is a countable noun or is what? A non-countable noun. So when it's a countable noun, then you know that you are using what? Few. And when it's non-countable noun, you know that you are using what? Little. Okay? Very good. I would like to bring the lesson for today to an end, and until we meet again, have a nice day. Bye.